It was just past 11 a.m. in the First National Bank of Willow Creek, Ohio, a sleepy town where pickup trucks lined Main Street and folks nodded to strangers out of habit. The bank's lobby buzzed with restless energy, air conditioning humming, but the air thick with impatience. Customers stood in snaking lines, tapping feet, scrolling phones, or sighing loudly, as if life had dragged them here against their will. Into this scene shuffled Arthur Dawson, a 72-year-old retiree, his steps slow and deliberate, like he was carrying the weight of years. His faded flannel shirt hung loose over patched jeans, a worn duffel bag with a faded army patch slung over his shoulder. His scratched glasses slipped down his weathered nose, and a tattered baseball cap shadowed his tired eyes. Arthur approached the reception desk, his voice soft but steady. "Ma'am, where's account services at?" The young receptionist, her nails clicking on a keyboard, gave him a quick once-over and pointed to a corner without looking up. "Over there. Get in line." Arthur nodded and shuffled to a desk where 3 tellers sat, slouched like they'd rather be anywhere else. One fiddled with his phone, another shuffled papers, the third leaned back, chewing gum. Arthur leaned forward, hands clasped. "Morning, folks. Got a problem with my account. Last month's Social Security didn't hit. Need it for my late wife's medical bills. Can you take a look?" The first teller, Pete, didn't even glance up. "Gotta fill out a form and grab a ticket, man. You can't just roll up like this." Arthur fumbled in his duffel, pulling out a crumpled bank statement with trembling hands. "Here's my deposit slip. Got turned around finding this place. No cell phone, and my son's out of town. Any chance you could help me out?" The second teller, Nate, rolled his eyes, voice sharp. "We ain't a help desk, buddy. Everyone's in a rush, and we hear the same sob story every day. Figure it out outside." The third, Victor, smirked, muttering, "Guy comes in for a Social Security check, like he's cashing out a 401k. A few customers nearby snickered. Others looked away, but nobody said a word. Arthur's face paled, his jaw tightening as he tucked the statement back into his bag. He turned to go, but paused, looking back at the tellers. "Y'all might want to think twice before judging an old man," he said softly, his voice steady despite the sting. The security guard, Randy, who'd been watching with a bored sneer, stepped forward. "Come on, Pops, you're holding up the line. Let's move." Victor chuckled. "What's next? Hobos walking in for a show?" The words hit like a slap, and Arthur's throat tightened, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. He said nothing more, just shuffled out the glass doors, his hands shaking. Outside, he crossed the street to Millie's Diner, where a dusty payphone stood in the corner, a relic of the town's quieter days. Fishing a crumpled scrap of paper from his pocket, he dialed a number, his voice low and firm. "It's me, Tom. I'm at the Willow Creek branch. I've seen enough." "No, I don't need anything. Just get an audit team down here. Today." He hung up, walked back to the curb, and sat down, his eyes closing as if replaying a lifetime of battles won and lost. Inside the bank, the chaos churned on. Long lines, grumpy tellers, Randy scrolling Facebook on his phone. But 40 minutes later, a black sedan rolled up, followed by a sleek SUV. 4 figures strode through the doors, their coats flashing badges. Federal Regulatory Commission, U.S. government. Before Randy could stammer, one official snapped, "Get the branch manager." Now. The tellers froze, confusion rippling through the lobby. An official opened a file, his voice cutting like a blade. "This branch is under immediate audit, triggered by a complaint to the bank's regional board. The complainant, Mr. Arthur Dawson, retired senior treasury official and the sole founding shareholder of this bank." The room went dead silent, like someone had flipped a switch. Arthur Dawson, the old man they'd mocked and shooed out, was the bank's quiet backbone. The manager, Tim, rushed in, sweat beading on his forehead. "Sir, If we messed up, the official cut him off. Pull all CCTV footage from the last 2 hours. Every second of Mr. Dawson's visit. Anyone who disrespected or touched him is done, effective immediately. Outside, a junior officer hurried to Arthur, kneeling on the curb. Mr. Dawson, they sent me to bring you back inside. I'm so sorry. We had no clue who you were. Arthur looked at him, his gaze calm but piercing. Ain't about who I am, son. It's about treating folks right, no matter who you think they are. Back inside, the bank was a ghost town of stunned faces. The tellers who'd been tossing forms like they were playing cards now stared blankly at their screens. On a large monitor, the CCTV footage played, a grainy, gut-punching record of Arthur, hunched and trembling, politely asking for help. Pete pointed rudely, Nate brushed him off, Victor mocked him as some hobo, and Randy loomed, shooing him out. The senior auditor paused the video, his voice ice cold. Names now, Tim's voice cracked. That's Pete Larson, Nate Brooks, Victor Hayes, and the guard's Randy Miller. The auditor didn't blink. All four suspended, effective immediately, pending investigation. Moments later, Arthur Dawson walked back in, his steps steadier, his face still etched with quiet dignity. The lobby seemed to hold its breath. Tim approached, head bowed. Mr. Dawson, we messed up bad. I'm so sorry. We had no idea. Arthur raised a hand, his voice soft but firm. That's the problem, son. You don't need to know who someone is to show a little decency. He found the chair he'd been denied earlier, eased into it, and said, I just wanted to see if this place still had the heart to listen to a regular guy's troubles. The auditor turned to him, brow furrowed. Mr. Dawson, you could have had this branch shut down. Why hold back? Arthur gave a faint, weathered smile. You don't fix a broken system by hollering. You teach it. Sometimes the truth hits harder than any fist. The next day, headlines lit up news outlets across the country. Elderly man kicked out of bank. Turns out to be founding shareholder. A bystander's shaky phone video of Arthur's mistreatment had gone viral on social media, sparking respect elders nationwide. Arthur Dawson's quiet stand had held a mirror to the system, and folks on social media couldn't stop talking. This, they said, is what real retirement looks like, speaking from wisdom, not just power.